Yo, what one everybody, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another social production. We're doing it on Friday, June the 16th, 2023. Baby boys, baby girls, welcome back. Thank you for joining me once again. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, drop 3 times a week. Where can you find it? On Instagram. Follow me there if you like. Subscribe on YouTube for the full-length videos. And if you'd like to fiscally support the show, check out patreon.com/RobSadri. And if you've been with me from the get-go, let's do it, baby. It's Friday. What's going on, you gorgeous little bastards out there, you sexy little mamacitas and the poppies, popping it big, popping it, doing it wherever you are, right there, baby, shooting from the hip, coming in hot, coming in room temp, coming in nonetheless. Together we're doing it, boys and girls. A lot of exciting events that are happening in and around the world. I'll start with some personal little minor stuff that I'm just like, because it's all about sharing. That's all this is. We're just sharing. We come in here, we have fun 3 times when we share, baby. So I'm feeling good. I shaved my nuts. I shaved the old tip of the old shoulder blades. Got a couple of strands there that'll just peek their heads out every once in a while. So you got to take care of that. I did cut myself on my shoulders. So it's like, if anybody asks, did you cut yourself shaving your shoulder blades, or did you get in a scrap, dude? This guy, lover, not a fighter, but these tiger stripes are friggin' roar, boom, right there, dude. So if that's what it is. You put a couple of scratches on yourself, all of a sudden, not that anybody sees it, but like you catch yourself in the mirror, you're like, this guy or this lady, whatever, you might be. Who knows? You might cut your leg if you're shaving. You might cut a damn labia. Go deep enough, cut a damn ovary. Who knows what's going on these days? But that's where I'm at right now. Shave the nuts. We are right off, 2 weeks from taking off and hitting the road, Jack. So I'm excited. That's what it is. I just felt like I should, pamper myself a little bit, clean up the old nether regions, because you never know. It's right before you leave, something exciting might happen, something unexpected that you'll be like, oh man, that's nice, or not. It could just be many evenings, a fortnight spent, with the old lefty and righty, if you know what I mean. That could also be but nonetheless, man, it's just good to make yourself feel good. Whatever you're doing out there, if you're single, if you're in a relationship, whatever you're doing, I hope you are rocking and rolling. That's what it is, baby. I took 2 deuces this morning. Dropped 2 deuces this morning, so that's also nice. It's just what it is, baby. We're sharing, and I hope you guys out there are having solid shits. No diarrhea, I hope, for anybody. If it happens, it happens. Happens to the best of it. If it's loose shit, dude, that's what you got to deal with. You got to deal with it. Get a bidet. Hire somebody. A lot of people like to go bidet. I suggest hire somebody, dude. Hire somebody, because a bidet can only go so far. Yeah, it's easy to install. Yeah, it's like, with my own privacy and everything. Get a little fella, get a little lady, put people to work. People are out there looking to work. If you got like a large bathroom, get a dwarf, get a midget, hand him a hose, dude, just fucking on call. You're right there taking shits, they're at it. Oh my God, it's a fire hose, just like heavy, because you can go bidet, but nothing beats a midget with a hose just going at your asshole, just making sure everything's clean. You getting some splashing all over the place is a little bit more messy. Yes, of course, but it's more fun with 2 people, 3 people. Get 2 other people to join you in there. 2 midgets, couple of hoses, you take a shit, they're there, dude. Fuck it. It's like, and it's also like putting on your toes, because if you're being hosed down to clean up, it kind of feels like prison. I've never been. I've seen movies, of course. I've heard story where they, you go in, it's your first time, they hose you down, I think. I don't know, dude. But if it's, it'll just at least put you in the mind, because I know that sometimes you got to create your own, be like, oh my God, that's what it is, baby. It's the little uphill battles that we create for ourselves in order to get better at whatever it is that we're doing. So that's up your game, baby. Bidet's so friggin' 2020, and we're in the future now. Ladies and gents, what else is going on in and around the world? Exciting events, scientific breakthroughs, god damn it. We'll start with the breaking news and advancing science, groundbreaking, pioneering engineer. It's crazy town, baby, is what it is. So scientists, myself included. All right, fine, I wasn't included. I'm not even a damn scientist. Do I enjoy science? Yes. The art of the reasoning, the art of deduction, the art of, oh, let's experiment and come up with theories and then test those theories to see whether or not they hold true. Because you got to make a hypothesis too. You're like, yo, I feel like this thing's gonna go that way, and if whatever, dude. So I'm just saying, scientists, we've been at it. They've been at it together. We've collectively been, as a human species, collectively. I've not been, again, directly involved, but I've seen what's going on, dude. We're making embryos out of stem cells. Breaking news, groundbreaking news. That's crazy town. So what is an embryo, you ask? I'm glad you asked. What's an embryo? An embryo is essentially an unborn or developing potential child. It's potential offspring. That's what an embryo. If it's, typically it's made with a sperm and an egg in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in the elevator shaft, because you were going down the elevator whilst making love and you went a little bit too rough. You caused the elevator to plunge. It's plunging. Oh, babes, we gotta get out of here through the hatch. So you're out there in the hatch and trying to fuck while you're still getting out the hatch, which is like low-key exciting, thrilling, but like, you could have kept it for the bedroom. But I get it. You're new in the relationship. Everything's exciting. It's all new. Where can we make love? Elevator shaft. How do we even get there? I don't know, dudes, ladies. But all I'm saying is, that's how babies were made. A penis, a male peen, and a female vagine getting together and fucking going to town and allowing each other to do their parts. Basically, pitcher, catcher, thrower, receiver, classic baseball. Here's nutting together. Men's and women's nutting together to make baby. That's what it was. But now we're going out there, we're creating embryos. So babies in progress, potential babies, potential humans out of stem cells. What is a stem cell, you ask? Glad you asked. Stem cell, it's basically, from my understanding, it's an immature cell. It's an immature cell, dude. This is not a cell that's well read. This is not a cell that's got a broad worldview. It's an immature cell. You can't really expect much of it. It's not a full, it doesn't have responsibilities, This is it's an immature cell, dude. It's barely even a cell. It could be found in your blood, in your bone marrow. Immature, dude. Just friggin' no responsibilities, out till whenever they want, these immature cells, and doing whatever they want, you gotta live life, man. So that's what it is. You take immature cells and you synthetically create embryos. So you take cells, you might take some blood cells or bone marrow, and then friggin' shaken, not stirred, zap laser time, spin it, put it in a microwave, take it out, jizz on it, maybe, I'm not quite sure. Have a lady sit on it for 72 hours, perhaps, who knows? It's magic. Nonetheless, it started work, we're working on it. Legally, and this is fun because legally they're not allowed to apparently go beyond 14 days, so we don't know what it can turn into. It's got potential. Right now it's seeing initial potential. Down the line, could it lead to potential human beings from these synthetic embryos? Maybe. Who knows? What's it for? I don't know. Science, growth. You like growth, don't you? You don't like things staying the same size, right? You like things that grow. Don't we all enjoy things that grow, perhaps sometimes shrink, and are willing to regrow again if you give it enough time? Just give it blow on it, a little bit of cool air. Just give it a little bit of time. We like things that grow, things that get hard, things that are pinchable. Not too hard, not too soft, but nonetheless pinchable. Point is, ladies and gentlemen, that we are making fake babies. Fugazi babies, fugazi humans down the line. Not yet. We've tested it in mice. We've tested it in monkeys. We took the monkey, we put an embryo in the monkey, but that's the thing. Apparently they've not let it grow fully, so it's like you got to shut it down from my understanding. When it gets to the 14 days, you got to shut it down. And it'd be interesting to see, because that's the legal aspect of it. That's what you and I read. That's what you and I are informed about, and I'm cool with that, I guess. I don't know. It's science. Science is good. can be good. It depends how you use it. It's not the size of the science, it's how you use it. So all I'm thinking of is, how many animals do we like take and implant these stem cells and embryos? Is it fair to these animals? Do they have a say? Is it mice that are like having difficulty like having babies of their own, and like, man, there's this like, middle-aged male mouse with his middle-aged mouse wife, and they were focused on their careers, man. She's out there, she's like, look at these mouse titties. While it's hot, babe, while it's not sagging to my knees, let me get a job with these bad boys and bad gals, with these melons. And he too is out there banging out sets of whatever he's banging. He's a little mouse, but he's in his whatever, is it early, midlife, almost midlife, 20s to 30, 40, who cares? Focused on the careers. Sure, he's got a couple of gray hairs and the nutsack's not as tight as it used to be, whatever, dude, but he's been cranking out stuff. So yeah, they put off having a couple of babies so that they're settled into their careers, perhaps, so that they could provide their children and offspring better futures, perhaps one day. Who knows what the reason was? But now they're older, they're like, oh my God, your vag is so nice and still tight, babes, but it's maybe not hospitable for its baby mice. And he keeps fucking her, dude, and she keeps fucking him, and they're just two mouse fucking going at it like animals, dude. They had a deal actually on the Discovery Channel. It was all about mice. 1 week of just fucking. It was those two mice that went at it, famous mice, couldn't get pregnant. But now with the tech, potentially maybe they can. And is it applicable to humans? I don't know. Am I intrigued? A little bit, yes, because I think to myself, 14 is the legal parameter that we're fiddling around with, that 14 days here, but like, yeah, it starts with a day, and it starts at 2 days and goes up to 14. And I'm wondering if that's the legal limit. Is there somebody in the scientific community somewhere in a lab that's been paid money to do private research that they're not gonna let others know about? Because sometimes it's hard to do science when you gotta and I'm not even a scientist, dude, but I would imagine if they tell you like, go make something, and it's like, oh, what are these like rules, regulations, ethics, methics, dude, and whatever. So right now I'm thinking, what if we've done it to a human, dude? What if they're fake fugazi embryo babies growing somewhere, and it's like different types of it, different stages, and like, do they come out with deformities? Do they have any any sort of problems in terms of fully developed? Who knows? So there might be some freaks out there, right? And maybe down the line, maybe that's what they'll release into the public, and we're all like, oh my God, aliens, they look somewhat like us, but they're not, dude. It's coming out with like 3 arms. It's coming out all sorts of freaky deaky, but I'm down with it, dude. If the hands work, that just means more happy endings for everybody. All I'm saying is, what that mouth do? Also, can we see the freaks if they're out there? I'm not saying it. People are calling them. Some people say that they might be. And I'm saying let's keep an open mind. I'm saying let's keep an open mind, unless it gets to the point where we're like, man, we're not even like having the babies ourselves and whatever, dude. Everybody's doing their own thing, and then all of a sudden, like, society starts to collapse, perhaps because there's like a reliance on consumers to go out there and purchase the goods that the companies make, but there are no consumers out there because nobody's banging and making babies. Hence, enter fake fugazi babies, or growing into all sorts of deformed adults, but also are capable of selecting the products that they like via mind messages that they send with their chips and shit in the future. This is not now, but it's like right there around the corner. Deformed people with chips in their brains buying things online via some sort of weird telepathy. So I'm excited. Hell yeah, dude. And I'm not worried. I'm not fazed by that sort of competition. They might have all the answers, sure, but like, hand-eye coordination, lame, at least now. Will it get better down the future? And now you got to go in combat fighting a seemingly deformed 3-handed individual that was, yesterday a little chump, little punk-ass bitch, but is now just taking you to school, just fucking 3 hands, dude. That's really hard if it's like good hand-eye coordination. So things to think about. It is interesting. I like to see that. And it's all its stages. If you got them, show them is all I'm saying. And yeah, dude, it's weird because like, at what stage do you like stop it, and is it like even ethical and all that jazz? But also like if you're doing it, let's see. All things that are interesting, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, amongst the things that are interesting, I've just been thinking about it because I have been enjoying, I'm not gonna lie, I've been, you know, I always keep it a $150 with the gang, with the syndicate. It's been nice, just man, I've been really, I'm trying to be like very grateful and like be in the moment as much as I can, enjoy life as much as I can. This is the most I've been just single out there doing my thing, whatever it is. Nothing cray cray or anything, like, you know, I'm not an overindulgent individual, and that in and of itself is like, you know, debatable depending on what you consider indulgence or whatnot. But all I'm saying is that I was just thinking, I've gotten very used to just like, I toot, man, I toot whenever I want, and that's one thing. And I'm very comfortable with it, to be very honest with you. Of course, I don't, you know, if there's somebody else like within I've gotten really comfortable with it, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm like, just like, I'll fart whenever, dude. That's that sort of freedom is kind of tight. Is it worth, like, obviously I don't want to just like have like, oh, you got to, you know, be in a relationship down the line, you know what? But it's not the same as relationship and like, oh, the freedom to fart whenevs. Not that, but like also it is kind of tight, dude. Not gonna lie, because like, not that you can't fart to either, and that's what I basically came down to. There's like, you live life up until a certain point, whatever, and like you can go through life at times being single, at times being in a relationship, or locking it down and being in a relationship till you both drop dead, dude. Ladies and gents, you could choose whatever flavor ice cream you like out here. It's friggin' Baskin Robbins up in this bitch. Grab a spoon, son. Ladies, gents, all I'm saying is, that's just the way you coordinate yourself. Like right now, I could literally, like, I could be farting right now, you wouldn't even know, unless it was like a loud fart. And sometimes it'll be a loud one, sometimes it'll just like fizzle out, sometimes it won't be any noise or anything like that. But all I'm saying is I give it no thought, especially like if I'm outside walking, if I'm just friggin', you know what, like, cause like there's nobody right beside me, right? I'm just letting it rip, and no one's the wiser. We're just like, oh, it's whatever, dude. Like, he's just walking. Nobody's even saying that. But I'm just walking, and I'm thinking, if anybody sees, like, nobody can tell. That's the beauty of farting. That's what I'm saying. But if you have a culprit, they might know, they might figure it out at one point or another, and you got to coordinate. And it's easy to like be a single player out there, just like fruitin' tootin' all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm like mid-sleep, like turning around without the slightest bit of thought. And if it comes, it comes, dude. I'm just like, just little faint ones in the middle, like 3:37 in the AM, as I turn to just switch. Or sometimes, I don't know, it might be 4:22. Oh, whatevs, dude. Whatevs. Just pull the blanket right over my head and back to sleep. Thank you very much. No thoughts given to it. But then, if you're living with a partner, if you've got a relationship that you're settled into, at one point or another, it becomes it becomes that dynamic duo. It becomes that synchronized tootin' and fruitin', baby. Now you're out there trying to, you know, how do you even, and it's different approaches. Some people, like, you know, it's reciprocated. You fart, she farts back, just letting you know, it's, everything's cool. She farts, you fart back, you gotta give it back. You can't just, if you give it, you gotta be able to take it. It's all give and take. If you give it, you gotta be able to take it. So, and then there are other folks that might get competitive. She farts, you're like, babes, I loves you, but I gotta, now you fart. And then maybe she too is competitive. So now you're like competitive farting, and within your dynamic, that is completely cool. Outside near you, be a little rough. Other times somebody might not be competitive. Let's say in the middle of the night, your lover farts. You feel obligated now to acknowledge the fart by farting back and reciprocating, because otherwise you don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable, do ya? Do ya? I don't think so. So she farts, you gotta fart back. Or he farts, now you gotta fart back. What if you don't feel like farting? What if you're not there yet in life? What if you've not mastered complete control over your bowel movement, so that, you know, because like, it's whatever, dude, it comes with practice. I'm not saying that, you know, go out there and just try to break wind on the whim. It's this is step by step, baby, one teeny tiny step at a time. But all I'm saying is things to consider, and I'm just like out there, just like whenever, dude. I'll let one rip. If I had one right now, I would. Especially if I had one right now with noise, I would. But it's fine. It's fine because I already remember in the beginning, 2 deuces. That's what's up. Call back. So these are 2 things that I've been thinking about that are exciting. What are you doing out there? Do you keep it in front of your partner? Do you raise the ante? Do you, if she's eating something spicy, do you go extra spicy? Do you have fart competitions? Do you strike a match and let your partner fart? Your lover fart? I don't like the word partner, dude. Well, it comes. Sometimes it just comes because it gets used. But like, you know, partner to me sounds like a friggin', it's like, oh, what are we in a friggin' law firm, dude? That's my partner. I don't personally, I try not to you, but it does pop out some. But I don't mean it. Like, please, like I'm not that kind of guy. You know what? It's your lover, it's your boo boo, it's your baby gal, it's your baby boy, it's your mistress, it's your guma, it's your wife, it's your girlfriend, it's your boyfriend. Your partner, I feel like, oh man, this guy just got invited to, you know, congratulations, you just, you know, you've made partner. You've just, like, it feels a little bit too corporate for me. It'll slip out though. I'll sometimes use it, I don't mean to. But that's just how I feel about it, man. What were we even talking about? Tootin' and fruitin', ladies and gentlemen, that's what it is. Somebody's eating spicy, do you go extra hot? Or you go like, you know what, I'm gonna eat some nuts. I'm gonna have some nuts in my mouth. I'm gonna get a little bit earthy. I'm gonna put out some earth tones. What's up? So it's just a lot of things to think about, but for me right now, living that, you know, player numero uno, just going through it, no thoughts given, dude, mid-sleep. Walking in the bathroom, walking outside. If I feel like it, right there, dude, I gotcha. So that's, you know, these are all exciting events that are unraveling. What else is going on in and around the world? I'll tell you, man. You hear some wild stories out there. Apparently in Ecuador, a sick 76-year-old decided to pull some hijinks, do some, you know, trickery, be a little bit clever perhaps with her familia, with her friends. 76-year-old lady in Ecuador was pronounced dead apparently. She stroked out or had a heart attack. They bury her, or try to bury her. They put her in her coffin, get her ready. There's a wake, people are attending. Middle of the wake, people are crying. People are like, oh my God, I don't know her name. Let's call her friggin' Janice from Ecuador. You know, Janice from Ecuador, dude. So she's all of a sudden, everybody's crying. Everybody's like, oh yeah, Janice is so good. Her ex-lovers are all like, you know, her husband may be dead. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't even have a husband. Maybe she does have a husband, but her other lovers are like showing up to the, oh my God, you know, Janice. Janice and I had a tight relationship. And then there's like 10 dudes with like roses and shit. Apparently Janice was way more popular than people thought. Who knows? All I'm saying is everybody's like, oh my God, Janice, I miss that vag, you tight vag when you were young, and then you started to get old but still maintain your tightness. How sweet the sound. You know, it's crazy. People show up all sorts of emotional, crying and shit, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the wake, what do they hear, dude? Knock, knock. Who's there? What's that? Where's that coming from? Scratches, coughing, all sorts of noises. Keep it down. Keep the children busy. There's just a whatever. It's a wake. It should be called a sleep because nobody but this. In this particular case, ladies and gentlemen, it was actually a wake. It was a real wake because I hear wakes are, you know, apparently for people who transition to the old chapter of life, whatever that may be, the non-physical realm, or into a new physical realm. Who the fuck knows? The point is, the wake is ironically named because no one's awake. Everyone's awake except the person that you're having the wake for. So a little bit of, it's cognitive dissonance. That's how they get you, man. That's what that is. So the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that this lady is just knocking, coughing, all scratching, making a scene, and all of a sudden everyone's like, oh my God, Janice, she's alive, oh my God, oh my God, the whole place loses it. The entire place, the funeral home, everybody's going, oh my God, Janice, crazy Janice. And she's out there like fucking, like they popped the lid open. She's out there like probably coughing, a little bit of mucus. She's probably pissed herself. It's been a week almost. Who knows, dude? The coffin stinks. And Janice is like, oh, let me out. Snot coming out, friggin'. All sorts of, she may be bleeding, maybe it was her period. Who knows, dude? You're like, she's an old lady. How could she have her period? How could she be alive? How is any of this reals? So she might be having a whole, it's crazy, but she's out there and she's making everybody uncomfortable. She's being selfish because this bitch went to the hospital and they pronounced her dead, dude. You make up your damn mind. You don't go in that's one of those things, man. This is where I've had to, and this is apparently happening all over the place. People are not talking about it. People are getting declared dead and then being found alive in their coffins and shit, which I'm like, that's selfish behavior. That is inconsiderate. That is, because once people start like, once everybody attends and like everybody's, whether or not you're dead or not in reality, does it even matter at that point? Let's say you died, but then you came back. All right? Let's say you had a glass cover on the top of your coffin, right? Let's see, and you see when you wake up after a week of just like napping, you're well rested, and everybody's been tired for a week, running around trying to take care of business for you. Once you see all those have a little bit of this is not about you anymore, okay? So I would say this lady and all others like her think twice before putting some shit like this on their family members or community members who show. If you you get declared dead, but you're not, suffocate right then and there, dude. Like, you don't need to, like, we've already, like, if it's already happening, because it's an emotional thing, you don't want to go through it twice. So if somebody's like, if I'm getting ready for you to, like, if it's gone down, if it's been declared, it's been declared. So you don't get to get declared and whatever, it's like, oh, I changed my mind. No, it's that you don't get to pull that shit, son. That's whatever you're doing. I'm gonna go over to the other side. I see the light. Psych, come back. What'd you see? Nothing. Like that's some crazy. That's manipulative. That's dishonest, is what I would say. Selfish to many degrees. So, and if I see a loved one ever trying to pull any of that shit, dude, if you get declared dead, but then you come back, I will finish it myself. Like, if I'm out there emotionally involved in whatever's happening, right, and then you decide to be like, oh my God, let me, no, dude, I'm already invested in this. I've already maybe not purchased a new suit, but perhaps maybe not even dry clean my old one, but I did wear a suit nonetheless, okay? And yeah, it's a few years old and it doesn't fit properly anymore. Who cares? But I'm already invested. I'm already committed to be whatever in a suit for about half an hour, 2-3 hours. That's whatever, dude. You ruined an entire day. Let's not make it all about you. Oh, so that's lame. This lady's lame. Other people like her, just, bunch of losers. That's what I say, man. So make up your damn mind. Don't put this burden on your family for having to, I don't know what the family members did. Again, if it was me, just friggin' turn her head around and push it in the pillow, dude. It's already there, available. You've already paid for the services. Come on. Depending on, again, make sure if the will is in need of some tweaking, if somebody got left out of the will, maybe all of a sudden, oh my God, a second chance at life. Not so fast, Granny. Not so fast. Yeah, it seems to be a few names or a particular name missing from this old piece of paper. Oh, what is this? Haha. Pen, handy, write it in. Make sure you date it. Maybe carry a bottle of ink, get her thumb and stamp her thumb, and get an eyelash, put her DNA, make sure document it, hold her head against a backdrop, and then get a camera in her face, and actually scrap the old will, just write your name in the will. Fuck everybody else, dude, because now you're in on the know and she's dependent on this. And maybe you can make a little deal, make a little deal, I'll let you live for an extra hour long, and so you keep this, don't be pulling this shit again. Enough is enough. Otherwise, if you don't have anybody to, if it's not a will situation, I'd actually be like, you know what, if you get declared dead, that is a poor way to just, wait till you're buried and just dig yourself out and then go live life, dude. Don't you want to ever get, that sometimes is a situation that doesn't happen too often anymore. People, it's so hard to, I'd like to imagine it's happened to a few folks in life where it's like, in my mind, I like to think that Elvis, Tupac, few other people were just whatever. It's been a good run. Let's get you some, downtime. This is similar to that, but it's not the same scale. So like, you did good for your family, dude. You did whatever for the community. Let's just say Janice, 76, dude, get declared dead. Come out to like 86, go with a new name and friggin' like go to wherever. You're already in Ecuador, so I normally suggest go to South America, but fuck it up. Go to East Europe, dude. Go to anywhere and make videos and just fucking like weird out your family, dude. Color your hair, dye your hair a certain color that stands out, and just be in the middle. You're in Ecuador one day and like 3 months later, now you're in friggin' Kazakhstan making all sorts of wonderful dishes for everyone to eat. They're like, oh my God, who's this granny with the tight rack and the beautiful, wear all sorts of weird, like anything that you want. Go almost nude, Janice, in a new life, 76 to 86, just fucking go on OnlyFans, make food in just the tiniest of Brazilian bikinis. And and then everybody would be like, man, it certainly looks like Janice. And then every once in a while, just like look into the camera and wink and just like flash a tit. They're like, man, I swear to God, it's grandma's tit right there. And or it's like, Johnny, don't, there's always doppelgangers and lookalikes. Yeah, we miss her too, but that's not Granny. Meanwhile, fucking, those tits, dude. You know those tits. All I'm saying is, make use of whatever happens in your life, make the best of it. Don't just be like, oh, I wanna, just make this all about me and make my family have to go through it again. Very selfish. So don't be a bitch. Don't be a selfish individual, male, female, doesn't matter. Don't do that sort of thing. Have fun with it. You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, did you ever wish that you could have food? Do you like food out there? Do you enjoy food? Yeah, you like food? Do you like eating? Do you like going to restaurants? Do you enjoy filling up the belly with some deliciosos? Handmade fresh ingredients at a restaurant perhaps? Yes, you like foods, who doesn't? Do you also, riddle me this, do you enjoy AIDS? Am I right, everyone? Well, what if up until very recently, I told you that if you wanted food and you wanted AIDS, you had to go to all sorts of different directions, different spots, to maybe perhaps go to one spot, get your food, and then decide if you're like, oh, I feel like having some AIDS. And then you had to drive all across town, or where you had to go over a bridge, you had to get in a canoe, you had to go on a raft, you had to go under a waterfall, get in a cave, come out of a grotto, who knows? Secret entrances, trap doors, what is going on, pulleys and levers, all the way, it's a whole mission just to get a little bit of food, a little bit of AIDS. That's all he wanted, man. That's all he wanted. Just, classic afternoon of let's get the boys and the girls, everybody, let's hop in our trucks and cars, let's get some food, let's get some AIDS. And everybody's like, oh, I want some. So your friends are like, I just want AIDS, man. Let's just go have AIDS, dude. And the other half is like, man, I want to have AIDS on an empty stomach. Remember the last time we had AIDS on an empty stomach? And somebody's like, I just want food. And don't you just wish there was a place that you could have both AIDS and food and AIDS? What if I told you we made that happen right here in our city? What if I said, brace yourself for this shit. What if I said, there is now a place, a restaurant in the city that's been in the works, that's now up and running, that is serving food prepared by chefs with live, full-blown, full-time HIV, dude. I'm not talking about that like part-time HIV. This isn't the type of HIV that you drop off for the weekends, or like, come see them. Like, you get the HIV, through the week, I'll see it on the weekends and spend, and all of a sudden the HIV grows and doesn't really know you. Sure, you have a few photographs at the local fair, cotton candy was nice, you threw a couple of balls, bought it a teddy bear. Who knows? But is it even, you know what I mean? Don't be an absentee. This is full-time HIV/AIDS, I think. I'm not still quite sure how that works, but it's full-blown people with full-blown AIDS, HIV, preparing food for you. So if you're like, man, I want food and I like AIDS and I like to get them in one place, now there's a place in Toronto. Check it out, support the community. It's for a good cause, I believe, overall. And it's completely safe, I believe. I'm not quite sure, to be very honest with you, but it's a thing, and I'm very supportive of everything, almost everything, anything, really. I'm like, we're all about having a good time and combining things, combining words, sentences, ideas, and concepts like AIDS and food. Let me ask you this. Are you tired of looking at your chefs and having them all look like, oh, they've been eating well, or like partying, and they all look like, oh, chefs are so, they're such rock stars, they're so, they're out, they are. But what if I said these ones, like, take it up to a whole nother level, baby? What if I told you your chefs will look like Tom Hanks in Philadelphia? Now that's exactly what we're not trying to do. What we're trying to do is, I don't know what we're trying to do, but I'm for it, I think, because it's like good to have people with AIDS, or really any disease. In fact, I personally would not eat a meal unless it was prepared by somebody with AIDS. Live, full-blown HIV/AIDS, dude. If you could, don't come at me with that, oh, I just got scurvy, I got a little rash, I got a little pink eye, I got a little bit of a UTI, my urinary tract is bleeding. Don't come at me with that lame kidney stone shit, son. Come at me full-blown AIDS when you're serving food. You feel me? Come at me with a little bit of a cough, with a little bit of, oh, what is that, salad dressing? What is that, island salad dressing? No, it's real live blood, son. You don't need to worry about it. It's fresh ingredients, I think. I don't know. All I'm saying is, I don't take a meal unless it's prepped by somebody with full-blown AIDS. It's like, I think it makes it extra delicious, and I think it makes it extra exciting, because you never know. It's a gamble each and every time. You never know. I don't know how it works. Because what if because I believe like right now, I think there are meds that you can like keep it on. You can suppress that shit. The AIDS could be in you, I think. Not quite sure how it works, but the HIV's in you, I think, and then you can take meds apparently to suppress it to a certain degree, so that you can't transmit it. You have it, you're the host, you're hosting, there's a party going on, but it's like a low-key party. It's not like the full-blown 80s. There's not like AIDS just doing lines inside you until you're like, oh, crumble and fall. I don't know, maybe that still happens, who knows, but we're making progress with food, okay? I think. So the point is, go there and ask them to lift up their shirts, dude. Did you have lesions at the time you were working on this particular dish? And then have them lift up their shirt and like yes, and then have them take a lesion, put it on the salad dressing, and then go to town, because it's been suppressed, I think. So if you take the meds, you can show up and work at this restaurant. What happens if you miss your meds? God Almighty, help us, everyone. But I think everybody will be responsible, and there's nothing that can go wrong here. Absolutely not. I don't see a future where somebody forgets to take a medication, or the medication is perhaps becoming weary and tired, just like other viruses tend to, get used to. Let's say, oh, antibiotics all come in as super AIDS, and maybe they're even on their meds, dude, but maybe one day they cough and super AIDS happens to spread on your salad. Now you're eating super AIDS salad, and now you get super AIDS. But that's not how it works. I wouldn't know how it works. Why would you ask me how it works? All I'm trying to do is say, if you like AIDS and you enjoy food, all in one sitting, there is now a place, and this is a good thing. I wholeheartedly believe this is a good thing, because they take the money and like give it to research, and I think other things that help with AIDS and people who have AIDS. And You got to give AIDS to get AIDS. It's about helping. We all do our part. It's about helping, raising awareness, trying something. Yeah, dude, don't be afraid to just like, and it's a different vibe. I've not gone. I'm leaving in 2 weeks. I would go if I had time. If I wasn't, I would go if I showed up and if they were the type of restaurant to cook the meal in front of you and have the chef put the food in his or her mouth and then feed it to me, I would, dude. But I'm on a tight schedule right now. Okay? There's a lot of things that are happening in my life as well. And I gotta move in 2 weeks. Hello? I shave my nuts, hoping in the next 2 weeks it will grow back. Not to say that I'm just like shaving today so that I'm prepared to hopefully before I go, because who knows when the next guy. It'd be nice to get a little bit of, before you go. And I'll come out and say it, ladies and gentlemen. I'll come out and just say it. I've made this promise to change a few things in this world before we continue to change more things together little by little. And this campaign needs to take a little bit more of an initiative in terms of making its impact. A lot of people say, if there's no bush, do I push? And to that I say no. If your lady's coming in with that, if you're coming in with that new 90s, that early thousands bald eagle look, nuh-uh. Okay, still yeah, because pussy's fucking awesome, but that's not the point. That's not the point, because the streets, what I'm hearing is that this guy and a bunch of other perhaps guys out there wouldn't mind a nice bush, is all I'm saying. So, and the ladies too. And the ladies, nothing crazy, but again, just a simple concept, just a minimal, but just a little bush, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's crazy to where did we go wrong? Where did we lose our, that's, sometimes it grips me at nighttime and it doesn't let go, and I let go of me. And it let goes, but like at the end of the day, I like to be able to look back and say, hey man, remember the time where we were all bushed out, son? And that's something that I'm willing to easily change my mind on. If a razor blade company or a shaving company happens to be like, oh, you happen to have body hair and you happen to be a person who dabbles in the art of maintaining oneself for the sake of maintaining oneself, I could easily avoid cutting myself. Because right now, if I showed you my shoulder, dude, there's some cuts, there's some burns. I was on a budget and I went there to the local corner store to buy my cigs, and I'm like, man, I forgot to pick up razors the other day when I went grocery shopping, but they had these other razors with only one blade, like old school Bics, but it was a good deal, right? It was like 5 for like $3 or something. So I'm like, nice. And I came and I'm like, oh, I didn't pay attention when I was buying it. Then I only noticed it has one blade, and I'm like, it shouldn't be that bad. And it had been a while since I shaved with only one blade, except for the times that I'm like out in nature, just being a wild man, shaving with a knife, dude. Feel me, ladies? Just like by a river, chewing on a bass and like fighting bears with one hand while I shave my nutsack with a blade. Typical classic Canadian weekend. Nothing I'm not used to. Except that I haven't done it in a long time, and I'm like, yeah, man, let me just shave these couple of blades off the top of the old shoulders right here. So I go to town and I scratch myself. So I can't say that I'm fully satisfied with Bic. I'm saying I'm on the market. Should there be any potential weed whackers out? Because otherwise, I'm out here promoting the bush. I'm out here saying, people, let it loose. Let it all loose. Just let the bush grow for one season at least. See how big you can grow it. You know what I mean? Let's have contests and let's see if you can like weave or braid your bush to another person's bush, and then have like an ultimate bush pulling contest to see who's got the biggest, baddest genital pulling power, essentially. That could be combined with how fast can you melt this block of ice using your piss, your urine, your jism, your female vaginal fluids, that could be an event. Pulling woven pubic hair to see who can like, and the consequences are severe. This isn't for because the other whoever loses, and you say this doesn't seem like a competition that there are really any winners in, but like this is the friggin' outside, baby. This is the fucking streets. This is where the fucking Lionhearts come to. This is where the ones that have, whatever they've got, they have it. And that's where they come from all across the world to fucking, they grow their bush, we braid it together, and they start pulling. And the men and women that you see here are amazing. And they also happen to have, and again, an extra competition where we give you a block of ice and you're kneeling, standing, however you like, see who can piss and melt the block of ice the fastest. How fast can your jizz, or again, vaginal fluid, or your piss, whatever, just your bodily fluid, how fast can you melt this block of ice? And I wonder who'd take it. I think that'd actually be an interesting match. I think the fellows would, if we were like doing like precision cutting, I think the fellows might have a little bit of an upper, or like, a little bit of an advantage, a little bit of a heads, because it's like, oh, you gotta cut corners here, you gotta drill a hole. I think it's easier to maneuver that. Whereas like if we're just going with like pure melting, I think ladies would like just squat down, and just because you cover a vast area, so it would be easier for you to probably melt a block of ice, ladies. And I'm saying these are all things that we could be thinking about, advocating about, talking to each other about, making sure the word gets around. Maybe you got, grandma is again 76, just made a comeback. She's like, I wonder what I'm gonna do for the next 10 years of my life. Fucking melt a block of ice. Let's grow that bush out. Let's tie it to another old lady. Let's have you like pull on different directions. See who wins. You know what I mean? Just fucking go to town, man. That's what I'm saying. So baby boys, baby girls, ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday. I hope whatever you're doing, I hope you're tackling it hard. I hope you're coming in hard. I hope that whatever you're going through, if you happen to be going through, if it's itching, dude, it's fine. See somebody. Lady, if it's burning, that only means you had a good time. Lessons learned for everybody, I'm sure. Otherwise, look to the future and also stay present, but also be on the lookout for friggin' weird, freaky deaky humans, animals, anything with an extra embryo, anything with an extra immature cell just running amok. Could it also be used in terms of, going back to that for a second, are we now venturing in the world of just, are they even humans though? You know what I mean? Are they even humans? I'm a little bit intrigued. Like, would that be considered, because it's not made from a sperm and an egg. It could easily escape the realm of law and ethics altogether, and we could just be like, they're not humans, and that'd be very abusive. So I don't know why we do that. But also, again, it comes down to like rules, regulations. It'd be nice I'm down for having spare body parts. I'll say this, dude. If I can get my hands on a spare like lung or two, whatever, dude, if I can make sure there's always an extra kidney, fuck it up, let's go. If I can make sure that I can like risk going surfing and having my wiener chopped off by a shark, even though I'm not even a surfer, I'm not even a big fan of sharks, but should I see one, I'll come at it dick first. Dude, that's the thing they don't tell you in Shark Week. They're always like, look at it in the eye, punch it in the nose. You got to put your wiener in its mouth. Dude, they don't like it. They love it. That's what happens. But then at least you lose a little part. They get like, oh, I got your wiener. But you're like, yeah, but fucking I got spare, fam. I got a whole refrigerator full of dicks. And you get back home and there's like a little pickle jar with this time you go like half an inch. It's like no different than changing your nose ring or your earring or your watch. You're like, you know what, I like wearing a Timex on my wrist because it's like sporty. I get out, or whatever, old school Casio, or like maybe you're a schmancy boy, you're a schmancy pants boy, you're a schmancy pants gal out there, and like, I like my bejeweled bedazzled watch, but I also got my like, down to earth, let's go camping watch. This is no different, dude. You got a labia that you're like, this is my ride or die labia, but I also got like, this other labia in the fridge that's like extra lippy. And that's thanks to embryos and immature cells. So keep on queefing. I love you all. Where can you find these videos? Every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday. Dropping the heat on Instagram. Check it out. Pass it out. Pass it around like it's hotcakes and drugs. Hotcakes mixed with drugs. Better than that, it's like AIDS and food, which goes hand in hand, I think. Again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. Talk about it. Check out patreon.com/RobSadri if you'd like to fiscally support this show. And I'll be back here again on Monday, man. We're rocking and rolling. Before you know, I'm going to be off on the road, dudes. Have fun, everybody. Have a great weekend. Love you all. Peace out.